First episode.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Productivity Lovers Podcast, the podcast about how to become more productive in your work and home environment. The Productivity Lovers Podcast is brought to you by Chris Scrott, a certified professional organizer, and Deb Lee, a digital productivity coach. Buckle up and enjoy the show.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Productivity Lovers Podcast.
Hey, everybody. We're excited to be here. I'm Deb Lee, a digital productivity coach. And my partner is.
And I'm Chris Scrott. What am I? I'm a professional organizer. I'm a productivity consultant.
Yep.
I feel like I'm a jack of all trades.
I think we probably both are a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Although I don't do the professional organizing stuff anymore, I can relate to that.
Yeah, technically I don't do the organizing myself anymore because I have a team, but I still feel like a jack of all trades. So I am super excited to be here with you, to be here with people listening, to be just doing this podcast. And I was thinking, like, this is our very first episode.
Yay, episode 1.
Yay. I feel like we should tell people a little bit of the history of how it came about. I think that might be interesting for people to know, because I know in organizing, people ask me that question all the time. Like, how did you get started?
I know.
So,
well, we've known each other for a really long time, definitely over 10 years.
Yeah, I think I met you. You and I were on the NAPO board, which is the National Association of Productivity and Organizing Professionals.
Yes, we met definitely over 10 years ago. It's probably closer to 15 than 10.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. And I met you during your year of Yes. So
that was a crazy year.
That was an amazing year for me, as I think I was the vice president on the board that year. And so everything I asked you to do, you said yes.
Well, I said yes because it was you.
Oh, well, thank you.
I said yes because it was you. Yeah, I think I'd seen that movie, Jim Carrey's movie, Yes Man. Have you seen that movie?
I have not seen it, but you have told me about it, so I now must go see it. But I was grateful that inspired you to say yes.
Yeah, it was a great movie. He just basically, he's like a button-down mortgage broker, banker of some kind. And then he goes to this motivational seminar where they say, why instead of saying no, just say yes to life? And I was like, oh, that's such an interesting concept. What would happen if I just went around saying yes to things I normally said no? And it led to amazing experiences. So
it did. We worked together on several projects that first year.
We did.
I
think the best thing was that I got to know you better, right? Because you kept saying you, and I kept saying, yeah, sure. Here we are.
And so many years later, I asked you another question. Well, actually, you asked me a question first. You said, hey, Deb, how about you do a webinar with me? I need a guest.
Yeah.
I want to chat about tech tools, I think it was.
Yeah, I think during the pandemic, I had this crazy idea that I would do like a free training Friday, especially in the early part of the pandemic where we all had a lot of time in our hands.
Yeah.
And I started off by doing like paper management, and I did memorabilia. And then I was like, what is the next thing people need? And they were like, tech tools. And like, as soon as I thought tech tools, I was like, oh my God, I have to call Deb Lee.
Yay.
And you and I have been friends for a long time. And over the years, we have even we have lunch together regularly before the pandemic.
I know.
So it didn't feel like a far stretch for me to call you and say like, hey, do you want to do a webinar with me? And it wasn't a far stretch that you said yes.
No, I said yes immediately without even looking at my calendar, which is very unusual.
You did.
But it was you, and I recalled your year of yes. So,
See, it's still the year of yes, still paying off. So you said yes, and we did the 5, I think it was 5 tech tools
that you can't live without.
That you can't live without. Yeah. If you're interested, you can probably look it up in the organizingmaniacs.com website, and it's one of our free training Fridays there. It was a huge success. People were super excited about it. They loved getting to know you. They loved that we talked about tools. It was very interactive. And after finishing that, I was like, that was fun.
Yes, it was. I said the same thing. And we actually touched on so many topics during that webinar, not just those 5 tech tools. What was it, like 45 other things we talked about?
It was a very long list of tech tools. I was like, after I was like, gosh, there were so many other things we could have talked about.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think like a year later, I was like, hey, you want to do another free training? And you once again said yes.
Yep. I didn't give it another thought. I mean, I knew that we had a good rapport because obviously we've been friends forever, but doing a podcast was new and different and fun. And we could have talked a lot more during both of those trainings. So the podcast was born.
During the second training, I think we were more general on like how many tech tools we were talking about.
Okay.
So I think like I just kept saying like, oh, we should put that in the parking lot. Oh, we should put that in the parking lot. And then afterwards, I think when I listened to it, I think I came up with like 40 topics that we could talk about, which I thought it was insane. And I think I texted you. I was like, can you believe we talked about 40 things?
I know, it went by so quickly. So then the podcast was born. I was like, hey, let me get another yes out of Chris and ask her to do a podcast with me. And you said yes almost immediately, which was great. I was excited about that.
Yeah, I think the truth is that I have always looked up to you. Like you are one of my favorite people in the organizing industry. And I think that I have always wanted to work with you. And I have told you this before, right? Yeah. Like, I think the thing about working with you that was intimidating, it was just like, you are very meticulous in your process. Like you're very meticulous about like how you train people, how you deliver information, how you put webinars, like everything about you is beautifully organized.
Very type A.
Which is what I love about you. And I'm a little kamikaze sometimes, you know, I just show up.
Which is what I love about you.
I just show up and I kind of go with the flow sometimes. So I was like, can we really work together? Yeah. So when you said, do you want to do a podcast? My instinct was like, oh my God, yes. Then my head was like, oh my God, what did you say yes to? But I have to say that, like, you know, as we have gone along in this process in the last couple of months, I am super excited about all of the places we're going to take our listeners to. So remind us a little bit about like some of the things that we have talked about that we're going to cover on this podcast.
Well, definitely a whole lot of productivity. So
yeah, we are the productivity lovers.
Productivity lovers. So definitely productivity, definitely time management, definitely tech tools.
Tech tools for sure.
Books about productivity and time management and focus and deep work, those kinds of things. And I think that, you know, people will also learn a little bit about us, the two of us individually, not just how we work together, but, you know, life happens for all of us, you know, right? I'm in the middle of a renovation at my home. You are moving.
I'm moving. Yeah.
Right. There are things that happen and how those things impact our productivity or how much we can get done, or even just, you know, putting some thoughts together and trying to focus. So those are some of the things, and I'm pretty sure some ADHD sort of touching on that's in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, I think like, you know, I feel like I'm pretty ingrained on how like people with ADHD get organized. So I feel like I'll bring that perspective to our conversations a little bit. I'm not an expert in any sense of the word, but I feel like I have a lot of experience with it that may be helpful for people. I think I am super excited about like maybe interviewing some really cool people that are relevant to our industry that have created, you know, technology or tech tools or things that may be really helpful for the listeners. And we're, you know, honestly, I feel like we're totally open to any suggestions. So if you're listening to this right now and you're like, I would really like to learn more about blah, 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 you know, send us a social media
just tweet. Tweet us or Reach
Reach
out to us
us,
on Facebook.
Instagram us, Facebook
Whatever.
us, email us, whatever, I guess we could even create a way so you could talk to us. We are thinking about creating
We are.
like an ask questions version of this podcast where people would leave a voicemail and then ask us questions and we would answer them kind of like in the air. So we're excited. We're here to serve our community in the best way we know how, which is talking about the things we love.
Yes. So thank you for joining us. And I think we're going to be sharing one of those webinars, right?
Yeah, I think like for the first time, I think we should share one of the webinars that we did together and people get to see how we interact and moving forward, we're going to try to make them a little bit shorter. So it's a little bit more able to consume in your short ride to work, maybe.
Yeah. Or during those breaks when you're getting up from the Zoom calls. But yeah,
that's true. We are in a pandemic, so nobody's going anywhere.
Yeah. And we'll probably talk about how that impacts productivity or has been as well. So
so many cool things, so many cool items, so many cool topics. I can't wait, Deb. I'm really grateful for the experience to be hanging out with you. And if nobody listens to this podcast, it's okay because I still get to spend time with you.
I know, because I miss our lunches. I really do. We would put those lunches on the calendar and I kind of miss some of that. So
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. So once again, I'm Chris Craw.
And I'm Deb Lee.
And you're listening to the Productivity Lovers podcast. See you next time.
Bye, you guys.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Productivity Lovers podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Please be sure to subscribe so that you get notified when we upload a new productivity podcast. For more tips and notes from the show, check us out at productivitylovers.com. Talk to you soon.